GD05 Freedom Ascension will be the most important set released this far. I've got 3 reasons why the set is so crucial. What's up everyone, Garrett with Talking Cards, and today we're talking about GD05 Freedom Ascension and why I believe it will be the most important Gundam set. Now, right now we are in this interesting and for some frustrating era of GD04 where the predominant things to do in this game right now are run 2-2 units that cost 1 and run blockers. And for some, this is a frustrating way to play. It's not very interactive, some people believe, and it's also the only way to feel like you have some control and consistency in the game right now. I think that GD05 Freedom Ascension is actively doing things to address some of these primary concerns. And I think that's why I find this set so important, is because of where we are at in the format, where the game to this point has been, to be honest with you, because since GD01, we've seen predominantly 2 factions of decks. Aggro with 2-2, cost 1 units, and blocker control decks in the vein of green-white, blue-white, and red-white. And these are kind of been the 2 factions that have existed to this point and have done really well. Looking at tournament data, we can see that being proven. So I believe that GD05 is in a place where it needs to have impact, and I believe it does. So today I'm gonna go over some of the reveals that are exciting for me from a competitive point of view and why I think it will impact the game and possibly even change things for the greater good. But that's not all. I have 2 other reasons why I think GD05 will be the most important Gundam set. But let's get into the first one, which is competitive play. So in the past, we've had reveals for sets like GD03 and GFred, where people thought it was going to be a complete game changer, killer of aggro, and all these things were going to happen. Well, it turns out that GFred wasn't even really a great card until, recently in this format is when it's seen the most play. And it can take a format for certain cards, or maybe, it needs more stuff to be paired with, or a format to lean a certain way to make a card good. This happens, this is normal across all card games. And before I really dive deep into the competitive play here, I want to stress this isn't like a I hate aggro, or aggro is the only thing that wins, or I hate blocker decks are the only thing that wins. I'm just saying that I believe this set needs to kind of evolve some things and kind of change the game. And there's multiple reasons for that, and we're going to get into it. So let's start with what's really great about this set, and of course we need to start with what's new. Every set we get new series joining the Gundam Card Game, and this time we get Mobile Fighter G Gundam. So we've had several cards revealed so far from Mobile G Gundam, and we'll start with Shining Gundam. Shining Gundam has the following abilities. On deploy, you may choose 2 MF unit cards from your trash. Exile them from the game. If you do, choose 1 special move command card from your trash. Add it to your hand, and then on attack once per turn, choose one of your rested resources, set it as active. My favorite thing about this card is it doesn't need a pilot for its effect. I think anytime we can get some unit cards that do not need pilots for their effects are super powerful, because it adds to consistency in the fact that I'm not reliant on seeing a 2-piece combo to make this card be good. So it has value. On attack, untapping a resource, that's big, especially when this deck is wanting to play commands and maybe, having one up for, an unforeseen or anything like we've seen in the past, plus whatever new is coming in this set can be really good. But the more interesting thing is definitely its ability on deploy. Being able to choose 2 MF unit cards from your trash, exile them, and then if you do, choosing 1 special command card from your trash and adding it to your hand is a great way to create recursion in this card game. We need ways to draw cards or see more cards or have more interactions with cards. And I like that this, interaction, if you will, interacts with several parts of the game. We have a card that's hitting the board, so it's in the battle area, and it is a deploy effect. And now we are going to the trash, exiling cards to bring 1 back to the hand. We are literally moving through like so many phases of the board, and I like seeing more effects like that. We've seen it with the starter decks, we've seen it with certain cards, but I'd like seeing more of that going forward in the future. And I think it adds a level of consistency because I don't need a pilot and it's putting cards back in my hand. And we are just getting to a point where the bigger my hand size, the more options I have of interacting with my opponent's board or trying to change board state and make something advantageous happen for myself. Then of course we have Domon Cashew to link it with. Domon reads, when paired, draw 1, then discard 1. If you discard a special move command card with this effect, you may activate its main. So we are essentially drawing a card for free because we're attaching this pilot, then we're gonna draw 1, discard 1, hopefully it's a special command, and when it is a special command, we get to use that card's effect for free. So we're getting a lot of value. Yes, this takes multiple pieces. You know, going back to my point, one of my favorite things about Shining Gundam was that you didn't need other pieces for it to get value. It can untap a resource, it can do things by itself. That's very cool. But this card does need some other pieces, but I think there's easy ways to hopefully find these special commands or to maybe set up your deck or anything like that. Hopefully there will be multiple special commands that will have promising effects and encourage you to kind of build a command style deck. We've seen that in the past with Red Blue, and that was one of my favorite decks of all time and a very fun play style. Some people don't like it and call it command slop, but I mean, we're at a point where I'm tired of hearing slop. I'm tired of hearing it about 2/2s. I'm tired of hearing about blockers, yada, yada, yada. I understand that these different factions will exist and evolve as the game goes on, and that's fine. I just want to make sure we are having like good interaction and kind of combating the ways that the game is playing right now, in the sense that drawing cards is hard, having, you know, cards in hand is hard, and as we evolve, I want more opportunities to see more cards in my deck so that I have the most possible ways to interact with my opponent. So I think this is like a step in that direction in creating a fun, cool new play style. I also think one thing the set is doing really well is supporting past archetypes, as well as introducing new ones like we just said with Mobile G Gundam, but also with like different colors. And I think this is the biggest thing about this set. And we'll start by looking at Purple Neo Zeon. Based on the reveals, the Neo Zeon cards are interacting in a very cool way. We're destroying our own units to get really beneficial effects off of them. This all starts with Zazabi. Zazabi has suppression, and on attack, you may choose one of your units. Destroy it. If you do, all enemy players each choose one of their non-battling units. Destroy them. Then we have the base Axis, which is a 6 HP base, so that's already good to start off with a neat activate main. Activate main rests this base. If one of your units has been destroyed by one of your Neo Zeon card's effects during this turn, deploy one Neo Zeon unit card that is level 3 or lower from your hand. And of course, to finish this kind of synergy we have going here, we have a brand new purple Char. Char, when linked, you may choose one Neo Zeon base card from your trash and deploy it. So we get to get back Axis, and Axis allows us to play a unit. So these three cards already show so much synergy, and I have to imagine that more Neo Zeon cards in this set will have similar effects that destroy our own units for beneficial effects. And I like that. I think that's really good. I think that's a cool way of interacting. And I want to see more archetypes get built, and this is kind of starting that. And it's also forcing you, or at least encouraging you, to think about two different color pairings that aren't actively played right now. You know, we have green Char and we have purple Char now. So these are reasons to combine these two colors, if you will. I mean, think about it. We're jumping from a 4 of Char, I need to see, to 8. That's awesome. And we already kind of have another Char in, you know, white, of course, from set 2. But seeing this color pairing is really cool, and it keeps that Zeon faction, because there is some interactions with Neo Zeon and Zeon together and stuff like that. So I do like seeing this. I think this is a step in the right direction, and I think doubling up on the same pilot names is huge. Meaning the fact that like I can have more rush opportunities in the game is awesome, and I can more consistently see the opportunities for rush. Like when we think about 2/2 beatdown decks, it's so hard to interact with the board. I have to see like one of my 4 Kiras, but you know what? That's not a problem anymore, because GD05 says, okay, here's another Kira. The new blue Kira is a level 5, cost 1 pilot with 2 attack, 2 health that reads, when linked, if this is an Orb Triple Ship Alliance unit, draw 1. Now this card reads a lot like Banager, and I think it's really good. Yes, it doesn't get its draw effect with every link, only with triple ship and orb, and Kier does definitely have more links that aren't triple ship and orb. So it is like not always gonna get that draw, but the fact that I can increase my link opportunities is still a killer move. It still links with Ale Strike, will lift a card, and I can attack with Ale Strike. Of course, White Kira will always be better on that Ale Strike, but we are still making an interaction in the game exist and more consistent. And I love to see that. I think that's really strong and really good. And we also get a new Freedom Gundam in this set. The new Freedom Gundam is a level 8, cost 6 with 5 attack and 6 health. On deploy, choose 1 to 2 of your units. During this turn, when they destroy an enemy card with battle damage, draw 1. During pair, on attack, you may discard 2. If you do, choose 1 enemy unit with the lowest level. Return it to the bottom of its owner's deck. So I think this reads really well. I think anytime I see on a card at this point in the Gundam card game that says draw, I get excited. One of the more frustrating elements for a lot of people so far has been draw power, and the fact that like there are just times where I'll lose a Gundam card game and I'll have 30 plus cards left in my deck, and it's like, I wish I could have seen more cards. If I had the opportunity to see more cards, I could have maybe had more ways to interact or things like that. And I still do believe this game really needs searchers, but I'm still excited to see more draw, because anytime I can go through my deck more and dig a little deeper for answers, we're getting closer to where I believe is a happy game state of my opponent's doing this and I can interact with them this way because I have said card in hand, yada yada. And I think these are really good moments, and I think that's what this game is building to. And it's a good place to be. I mean, we're seeing it with this pilot, we're seeing it with Freedom, just increased ways to draw. And I think that is super strong. And the bottoming effect from Freedom is also good, especially if I'm pushing for game and all they have is 1 blocker, well then I can just maybe win the game right here. So I like seeing this card. I think it's really good, and I think it's really good in, you know, thinking about it together with blue-white and what we already have with blue-white. That's just kind of like seals the deal. I can run 8 Kira. You know, there has to be a way that is good. And then lastly, from the reveal so far, we have a new hero. So we are also continuing this trend with, you know, a new Char, a new Kira, and now a new hero. And hero is, of course, in what color? White. Hero is a level 4, cost 1, 2 attack, 1 health that reads, when this unit destroys an enemy shield area card with damage, choose 1 enemy unit. It gets AP -2 during this turn. Now, while I don't think this hero is a game changer, I do like the idea that, once again, I can increase my pilot count with the same named pilot. Meaning, like, this still links with, you know, starter wing Gundam on curve. So I'm increasing my opportunity to have that powerful wing Gundam come down on curve and, you know, attack non-rested units with Breach 5. That's just strong. So there's still merit for this card, and it's still doing something positively in a positive trend. Like, we are still moving in the right direction with more of these same name pilots, I believe. And of course, we get Wing Gundam Zero himself, because why not? And of course it's white, and of course it fits in green-white like a glove. It's a level 6, cost 5, with 5 attack and 4 health that reads, while a rested enemy unit is in play, this unit gains suppression. On attack, choose 1 enemy unit. Rested. This is insanely good because it doesn't need a pilot for either of these effects. Usually with green white, you get in these, especially when you're playing against another white deck, blocker wars, and being able to rest on attack is just very good. Not only that, but it works really good with suppression. I can rest a blocker, and then now I can go for shields and get the double damage with suppression. That's super strong. And it fits good on a curve where you want to play either Wing Gundam Starter or anything like that, and we can now play this there too, and both need a hero link, right? So this is good. This is what I want to see from the Gundam card game. This is moving in the right direction. But outside of this, we also get a lot of good support based on the reveal so far for past archetypes and past traits. A few to name is the age and biological CPU trait. They get supported here with Forbidden Gundam and more age Gundams. So that's good to see us still like addressing some cards or some series that were introduced, some traits that were introduced that didn't get enough support, that maybe, you know, with additional support can take them from, you know, getting dusty in your binder to being sleeved up. And outside of that, we are also getting more cards that immediately address, you know, once again, people's biggest problems with this game, which are 2/2 units and blockers. Let's start with the new Amuro. Well, sort of. This new pilot can rest any level 5 or lower when paired. Sometimes it's better to impact level than HP, and sometimes HP is better. I would argue most of the time probably 5 HP is better than level, because like you could get a level 7 with that has 5 HP. So obviously it can go a little farther and you can ping things down to level to 5 HP instead of like, we don't have the way to interact with levels yet. Once we do, I could see that being really, really good as far as like removal goes in the future or anything like that. In One Piece, they have, you know, level-based removal, and I think that is strong. And then for those pesky 2/2s, we have Gundam Flaros. Gundam Flaros allows you to choose one level 2 unit and destroy it on deploy and attack. So this will be insanely good if 2/2s remain meta. It also doesn't hurt that it links with Mika, and speaking of Mika, we get a new Lupus Barbatos. The new Lupus allows you to increase this unit's AP by an amount equal to the amount of damage it has received. At the end of your turn, you may choose one of your Tekiden units, deal 1 damage to it. Set it as active. Once again, I think this is a neat card because it doesn't need a pilot for any of its actions or abilities. And I think, you know, as we're seeing with this set, we're getting more and more cards that don't need a pilot to do things. And I think that's really strong for adding a level of consistency in the game, you know. Anytime I only need to see one of a card, it's a lot stronger than needing to see 2 of. And now they're even making it better with the ways that for the cards I do need to see 2 of, or if I want to link or anything like that, we're getting more same name pilots. So I think all these things together are going to largely impact competitive play and hopefully make the game a more consistent one. Now I want to move on to my next reason why I think this is the most important Gundam set yet, which is Block 2. So what do I mean when I say Block 2? I'm talking about that little number up there in the corner. This means if Block 1 was to ever get rotated out, this would be the first set of that given format. For example, right now in One Piece, they just had rotation back in April, and set 1 is gone, everything with a Block 1 is gone, yada yada, which was like I think the first 4 or 5 sets of that game as well, and it just now got rotated out. But they have up to 4 blocks currently. So I think it's really cool and important to see that like this is where they chose to put that Block 2 number on it, and maybe that's where we see a power level change. Like it would be smart to introduce that on a block number because that's where the game would get reset to. So I think seeing something like that is important to take note of. And this isn't me calling for rotation in Gundam. It might not ever need it. I'm sure there's people that argue that One Piece doesn't need rotation. But I do think rotation is fine. I'm a rotation fan. I come from Pokemon, so I'm just used to it. That was my first ever card game, so I grew up on rotation and understand it well. And I think it, you know, always encourages new gameplay. And a deck building game like Gundam, I think is actually the kind of game that can embrace rotation, because we're gonna see like new combinations and like force creativity. And as long as the card pool is big enough and there's, you know, consistent gameplay opportunities, we can see some really cool deck building in a rotated format, and I would be excited to see that. I don't think that's a problem at all. And regardless of if it happens or not, I think it's worth noting that that number 2 does exist. And then lastly, I want to talk about maybe the biggest thing so far of this set, which will impact not maybe always the players, but definitely the collectors, which is the collectability of this set. So with an anniversary set, we know there's going to be tons of chase cards, and then we've already got quite a few revealed. We have a new illustration of Char, Amuro, Soletta, and these are some people's favorite pilots across the entire Gundam universe. So these will definitely be chased and highly sought after. What happens with an anniversary set is due to the amount of chase cards, the set is very much in demand. And that's gonna force players, you know, to have maybe a hard time buying product. But, you know, I think that if you're willing to let your alts go, like that you pull, like let's say you just get 2 boxes, right? And you pull a Char or an Amuro, and maybe you're just like, I need to have my play sets. Let those cards go and then go get singles for everything else you need. This is something I do because usually I only buy about 4 boxes, and then I'll sell my alts to, you know, fill out the remainder of my low rarity master set. This makes it easy for me to make sure that I always have every play set and can build whatever I need to build, because I'm a player first. I'm not really a collector. I'll keep some prize cards I win, but I'm here to play. I enjoy the game too much. So if you are a player and you're looking at the set, like how am I gonna get my hands on it with the amount of collectors that are gonna be chasing after this? Well, that's kind of how I would approach it. You know, just be focused on singles. Because to even make this set more hype, there's a brand new rarity introduced. Link rares are these cards that depict a pilot paired up with their unit to become one. I think anytime you can add a new rarity to a card game, you're definitely going to get people chasing after it, and it just adds to the collectability of your game. And I think that's awesome to see. I'm happy we're seeing it in an anniversary set as well. And based on this artwork, I think it looks pretty cool. I think this is something that, you know, you can do cool things with in the future and in future sets. So I'm excited for it, and I expect this to be super sought after because of new rarities, new illustrations of people's favorite pilots in SP versions, and new chase cards. We're gonna have so many. So this set will be highly in demand. Definitely try to get your hands on some product as much as you can, and just try to fill out your sets with singles if you need to. So what do you guys think? Am I speaking hyperbole, or is GD05 going to be a very important set for the Gundam card game? I think we're starting to see more things moving in the right direction. And if you guys want to follow along with all the reveals that are coming out, I've linked down below Eggman's website, his deck builder, where he's pretty good about updating all the revealed cards. So go check that out if you want to see all the cards that have been revealed this far that weren't in this video. And if you guys did like this video, please like and subscribe. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. It was cool to do a Gundam video again. And GD05 really does have me excited for Gundam again. Like, it's been a little minute since I've been excited. Pretty much with GD03, I got bummed out as like I felt like gameplay wasn't really advancing from what we have seen so far. GD04 has had a few surprises that I've enjoyed, but GD05 is on another level for me. I really think same name pilots, you know, in different colors are now going to change the game. Being able to go from 4 to 8 is a huge jump. So let me know what you guys think, and thanks again for watching.